Welcome back. We'll start with a new topic, occupational health. First, we'll start with the definition. What is occupational health? The Joint International Labour Organization Committee on Occupational Health, which was given in 1950, it defines occupational health as the highest degree of physical, mental, and social well-being of workers in all occupations. Okay, irrespective of occupational field, their complete physical, mental, and social well-being of workers is defined as occupational health. What are the goals of occupational health? It is to reduce industrial accidents, to prevent occupational hazards or diseases, to achieve maximum human efficiency and machine efficiency. Okay, maximum human efficiency also and machine efficiency also comes under the occupational health. And here main goal is to reduce the industrial accident and prevent occupational hazard. Preventive medicine and occupational health here first is level of application of preventive measure, how the preventive measure can be applied and the what tools can be applied here. And occupational health is therefore application of preventive medicine in all places of employment, whatever that is community health in the general topic. Community health wherever we can apply, that is called occupational health here. Next, moving to the ergonomics. So, very important topic in the occupational health. What is ergonomic? Ergon is the Greek word which is derived from the ergon, that means work. Nomos means law. That is simply means fitting the job to the worker. Whichever job a person can do, that job is called as ergonomic. The International Ergonomic Association defines ergonomic or human factor as ergonomics is the scientific discipline concerned with the understanding of interaction among humans and other elements of system, the profession and that implies theory, principle, data, and methods to design optimize human well-being and overall system of performance. So, it's a scientific discipline, ergonomics, which will deal about how the human interaction takes place with the other elements of system with application of theory, principle, data, and the method. So this is what ergonomics. The total at the end result should be optimum human well-being and overall system performance. So training in ergonomic involves designing of machines, tools, equipment and manufacturing processes, layout of places of work, methods of work and environment. This is the engineering work which takes place in the ergonomics. In order to achieve greater efficiency of both man and machines, these are the training to be taken. So objectives of ergonomics are to achieve best mutual adjustment of man and his work, for the improvement of human efficiency and the well-being. So the main objective is to improve the human efficiency and well-being by mutual adjustment with the from of man and his work. What are the benefits? Here, decrease injury, illness, and workers' compensation costs will be taken care. Decrease absenteeism due to any illness. Increase physical well-being. Increase efficiency at work. So, what is occupational environment? It means the sum of external conditions and influences which prevail at the place of work and which have a bearing on the health of the working population. So, surrounding environment of the person and it is at the workplace which have a bearing on the health of the working population, which has a certain or effects or impacts on the working persons. Types of interaction will be man and the agent, man and the machine, and the man and the man. Okay, man and agent means whatever environmental agents are there, that, and man and machine means the work where it takes place, and the machine's instrument they're using. The interaction between man and machine. Then man and the man, that is co-workers and the leaders. What are the occupational hazards? That is physical, chemical, biological, chemical, mechanical, and psychosocial. These are the occupational hazards. In the physical, there will be heat and cold effect, noise effect, vibration effect, UV radiation effect, light effect, and ionizing radiation effects. These are the physical effects. Heat and cold, that is work of Rao and Mukherjee et al. It was taken place in the 1953. Indicate corrected effective temperature of 69 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, that is 20 to 27 degrees Celsius, is a comfort zone in this country. Okay, so this is the common or comfortable temperature, that is 20 to 27 degrees Celsius. Burn, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, heat cramps are the complication takes place in the highest heat. This is chilblains, okay. Erythrocyanosis, trench foot due to cold, frostbite due to cold. So those were the cold. Okay, the whatever we seen here, burn, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, heat cramps are due to heat effects, and these are the cold effects: chilblains, erythrocyanosis, trench foot, and frostbite. Next, light. The acute effects are eye strain, headache, eye pain, lacrimation, congestion around cornea, eye fatigue. These are the acute effect, and chronic effect is minus nystagmus, and other effects are discomfort, annoyance, visual fatigue, blurring of visions, and accidents. So these are the effects of the extra or more light. Noise. Auditory effects are temporary or permanent hearing loss, and non-auditory effects are nervousness, fatigue, interference with communication, in decreased efficiency, and annoyance. These are the effects of the noise. And the vibration, that is from frequency 10 to 500 hertz normal, and if it is more, there will be health effects. And UV radiation, mainly in arc welding, affects eyes, causing intense conjunctivitis, and keratitis, causing welder's flash. So that's why we should not directly visualize the welding machine whenever the welding is going on. Ionizing radiation. The important radioisotopes are cobalt-60 and phosphorus-32, and hazard caused by these are genetic changes, malformation, cancer, leukemia, ulceration, and sterility. So, International Commission of Radiological Protection has set maximum permissible level of occupational exposure at 5 rem per year to whole body. Okay, only 5 rem per year can be exposed. More than that, it will cause certain hazards. These are the summary from heat, which occupation this heat, cold are using, and what are its health effects. And the chemical, there will be local action, inhalational effect, and ingestion effect. Chemical, from inhalation there is dust inhalation, gas inhalation methods, and local action and the ingestion. Dust size is, if it is 0.1 to 150 microns, that is less than 5 micron, it is respirable dust. Okay. Dusts are 4 types: soluble and insoluble, organic and inorganic. And the occupation diseases, moving to occupation diseases, they have a long latent period. Most occupational diseases cannot be treated, and all occupation diseases can be prevented. Lung diseases caused by the dust, it depends on the chemical composition, particulate size, concentration, shape, effect, specific gravity, and body's reaction. So based on this, there will be effect. First one is pneumoconiosis. The inorganic substances are a dust which causes the pneumoconiosis: asbestos, silica, costus, and iron. Asbestosis is caused by asbestos. Silica will cause silicosis. Coal dust will cause anthracosis. Iron will cause siderosis. And through organic dust, cane fiber will cause bagasosis. Cotton dust will cause bicyanosis. Tobacco will cause tuberculosis, and grain dust will cause farmer's lung. These are the diseases. Pneumoconiosis means if the dust within the size range of 0.5 to 3 micron is a health hazard producing. So the hazardous effects of dust on lung depends upon a number of factors. What are its chemical composition, fineness, concentration of dust in air, period of exposure, and health status of the person exposed. Moving to the silicosis, here free silica or silicon dioxide will be inhaled. First reported in India in Kolar gold mine in 1947. Dense nodular fibrosis will occur, that is 3 to 4 millimeter. Okay, nodule formation will be there with the fibrosis. X-ray chest shows snowstorm appearance. Okay, snowman-like appearance will be there, and it is also called as silicotuberculosis. Asbestosis, commercial name given to a certain type of fibrous material. Okay, fibrous material, certain fibrous material called as asbestos, which will cause asbestosis. Silicates of varying composition. Silica combined with bases like magnesium, iron, calcium, sodium, and aluminium will cause this asbestosis. And two types: serpentine or chrysolite, that is hydrated magnesium silicate, and amphibole. Varieties of amphibole types are crocidolite, amosite, and anthraquilite. These are the amphibole type which will cause this asbestosis. And asbestosis fiber, that is 20 to 500 microns in length and 0.5 to 50 micron in diameter. There will be mesothelioma, crocidolite variety. Sputum shows the asbestosis bodies, asbestos fiber coated with fibrin. That is, fibrin is the natural product in the human body. X-ray chest shows ground glass appearance. Okay, glass like structure. Okay, which was used in the before time hour glass, like that appearance will be there in low to third of the lung. Move to the anthracosis, coal miners pneumoconiasis. It is also called as coal man's disease, coal miners disease, or coal miners pneumoconiasis. First phase, there will be simple pneumoconiosis. Second phase, there will be progressive massive fibrosis. Entire body or entire lung will be fibrous. Risk of death is twice. Okay, twice the risk of death. Next, byssinosis, inhalation of cotton fiber dust, and symptoms are chronic cough, progressive dyspnea, ending in chronic bronchitis and emphysema. So these are the symptoms in the byssinosis. Chronic cough will be there, dyspnea, difficulty to breathing, ending in chronic bronchitis, there will be bronchitis and emphysema. Incidence rate is 7 to 8%. Bagosis, caused due to inhalation of bagasse or sugarcane dust. First reported in India by Ganguly and Pal in 1955 in cardboard manufacturing firm near Kolkata. Occurs due to thermophilic acetomycete named thermoacetomyces saccharide. Okay, this will cause the bagosis, and the skygram shows mottling in lungs or shadow. Okay, here in the lung, what we are seeing, that is called mottling. Okay, in the bagosis. This is the cane fibers in the bagosis. Mottling occurs. Next, farmer's lung. It is inhalation of moldy hay or grain dust. Bacteria and fungi grow rapidly if moisture content is more than 30%, causing rise of temperature 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. Okay, if the temperature is 40 to 50 degrees Celsius, there will be more growth of the fungi and the bacteria. This leads to growth of thermophilic acetomycetes, that is Micropolyspora fini. This is the main bacteria which causes the farmer's lung. And later stages, there will be pulmonary fibrosis, inevitable pulmonary damage, and the cor pulmonale. Cor pulmonale means failure of left heart or left ventricle. This pulmonary fibrosis and the cor pulmonale. That's what about the occupational hazard. We'll see in the next chapter. Thank you.